Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Could we please have the mobile phones on silent mode or switched off? We're about to begin the session. For this session of ours, could I now please request Dennis Rue, Director, European Film Market, to be on stage. Dr. Pushpinder Chowdhry, MBE, Director, UK Asian Film Festival, to be on stage. Rita Meher, Executive Director and Co-Founder, Tasveer Film Festival, to be on stage. Bedi, Producer, to be please on stage. And to moderate the session, I would now like to call upon Charlotte Hurni, Festival's Director.
Is it working? Yes. Hi, everyone. Very nice to be here with you. I would like to thank really much the Film Bazaar team and NFDC for hosting this session today, which will be a really fascinating session about the festival. So I would like to thank also all the four of you for agreeing to this and for putting your expertise forward. So the topic of the session today would be to speak about the importance of festivals. What are the big shifts that happen in the film festival world, especially in the post-pandemic landscape, as well as talking about curation and also the role of festivals in promoting films. So I think I can speak for everyone here when I say that festivals have a really important place in our ecosystem, and they also have a big place as a cultural, social, and economical impacts in the regions they are implemented in. And so my name is Charlotte Hurni, and I'm Festivals Director at FIAPF, so the Producers Association. And I manage specifically the relationship with festivals, so it's a great pleasure for me to be here. And also, I have this mandate also to strengthen the importance of film festivals today. So to start, I think I would like to speak with you a little bit about curation. We are seeing that festivals are receiving an increasing number of submissions over the past years. I think that the post-pandemic world has also accelerated this, that the festivals have become such important places for promoting films. Maybe, to start to ask a first question, I would like to ask you if you can tell me, and looking specifically at the festivals in the room, so Rita and Pushpinder, to ask you a little bit about your curatorial strategies and how you have been working with the rising number of submissions, especially for films coming from South Asia and from India. If you can elaborate a little bit about that.
So, yeah, thank you. Thank you for inviting us to be on this panel. And yeah, UK Asian Film Festival, when it did start, it started as a women's film festival and eventually moved on to being a South Asian Film Festival. What was important for us was to tell our stories and look for films that had stories from South Asia. And British South Asian stories were also very important to us. And to bring Indian independent films to UK to give a flavor of what is beyond Bollywood. There are much deeper stories, issue-based films, and so to encourage young British Asians to make their own stories.
For emerging filmmakers, this is really
and especially
really
women's stories. And we wanted to tell our stories from our gauge, and for us, that's important.
That's very good to hear. Thank you. And Pushpinder, do you have Rita? Sorry, do you have anything that you would like to add on that side?
Yes, thank you so much. Similarly, very honored to be on this panel. I'm Rita Meher. We run the Tasveer South Asian Film Festival. And to talk about curation strategy, yes, we need to go back 20 years ago or 21 years ago when we were founded. And the reason we were founded, it happened right after 9/11. And during that time, there was a lot of xenophobia and hate against South Asians in the country. And my best friend and I, we thought we need to do something about it. We need to create a platform where we want to alleviate ignorance and hate. And we thought film and storytelling, there's no other better way than to do that than to do with films which could penetrate really widely and faster. So our mission is to inspire social change through film, arts, and storytelling. And we guard that mission with all our might. We guard that mission. That means we want to make sure when we tell a story, it has to have some kind of social justice angle. It creates the bridge between our South Asians and the wider community. And it's always use the social justice angle. And that's our curation strategy. And we have been doing that for, it was our 18th year this year. And I also do want to add, we became the one and only Oscar qualifying South Asian Film Festival in the world just this year, a few months ago. So yeah, that was our journey.
Thank you very much for this. I think the point that you are stressing, both of you as festivals, is also that you have a specific curation with a specific taste, bringing, of course, emerging filmmakers to your festivals, to your countries. One question, we're in a very vibrant ecosystem of festivals worldwide. There are many thousand festivals happening every year. I think Bobby had an interesting point regarding the programming aspect and the curation that he wanted to also put forward in that sense.
Yeah, I think everyone knows me as a producer here. Very few people know that I'm also representing FIAF in this part of the world. You know, IFFI used to be the stellar festival in the region, and there was nothing close. Today, there are at least 5 or 6 big festivals in India. I think 4 of them even members of the FIAF family. Then we have close to us in South Korea, we have Red Sea in Saudi Arabia, we have in Tashkent and some of the Russian republics. So suddenly there's a lot of film festivals. So I think it's time to take stock amongst at least the Indian film festivals and try to figure out why are we different from each other. So almost as a branding concept, because we have Mami in Bombay, we have Kerala, we have IFFI, we have we have a festival in Kolkata, we have a beautiful festival in the hills in Dharamsala. So now, what distinguishes one from the other? So I think it's time for the festival curators of all these festivals possibly to sit down across the table and decide that how are we unique, firstly within India, then India decides how are we unique within the region, because I mean, Busan never existed 15 years ago, and today it's a major festival and a major market, and the Red Sea is throwing a lot of money at this business, so I expect that they will also do something significant. So whether are we focusing on, firstly, we must be spread out in time so each has a interesting new catch of cinema. 2, they should be curated such that there is a difference. There's a differentiation between each festival. The one good thing that has happened is that Indian cinema in the last 4 or 5 years in the context of the world come of age. There was very limited few films that actually traveled across audiences that were non-Indian. I'm not talking about films that worked with diaspora. Today, with the streamers, with Netflix, with Amazon Prime, with the various other distribution channels, Lionsgate is streaming so much in Tamil across the world. There is an awareness and there is a change in the quality of the film and the TV programming, the streaming programming that is going out. So the festivals in India should start focusing on product that is truly international, stands shoulder to shoulder with the best in the world, and showcase that. And if a festival wants to be focused on high quality Indian product, then they should proudly do that. That, we want to showcase the best in India. There's no point saying we're international and have 80% of content in India and a smattering of foreign films, which some festivals do. So I think it's time to take stock of that and decide how we are going to brand, position, therefore curate in some order and schedule these festivals. And if we succeed in that, then the next few years can have great festivals out of this region.
That's a really good point. Thank you, Bobby. And I think it's interesting that we have also a complementary opinion from Dennis, who is heading the EFM market and who has this also close link with the business opportunities that festival creates. If you can speak a little bit about that.
But first, I want to give a little bit of data also about the Berlin Film Festival, because the European film market is a film market which is taking place during the Berlin Film Festival and is an integral part. And coming back to the main topic here of the panel, it also says it's the era of record-breaking Indian submissions. And I think it's really a general trend. It's the era of record-breaking submissions, not only from India, but from all over the world. So only for this year, we received for the Berlin Film Festival 800 films more than last year. So it's a huge number. And the team, the curators are right now very busy to watch all these films, because it's also work to watch all these films and takes more time. And at the same time, we also received a lot of Indian submissions. That's true. I also checked with our delegate, Meenakshi Shede here. She's also in the room over there. She's our delegate for the Berlin Film Festival for Southern Asia. And we have 250 submissions from India, or from Southern Asia. So it's also a big number. At the same time, we have just 200 slots at the festival. So the competition is getting tough, to really become or to enter a festival, to have really a world premiere at a festival like Berlin. And now, from my perspective, also as the director of the European film market, I think it's also important, and Bobby just mentioned it, to think international, to also, if you start to submit to festivals, to also reach out to sales agents, for example, because the sales agents, they have those connections also to the festivals, to the big film festivals. They help to set up a marketing strategy, a festival strategy as well. Also having the expertise to say which festival is helping to bring a film to the international circuit. And another aspect is also talking about becoming international, to also discover the opportunity to co-produce internationally, to having also international co-production partners who see also if a film has an international potential, if it's also fitting in another market than the Indian market, So that's from my perspective.
I think those are really good points. Thank you so much for this. And I was thinking in terms of relationship to the role of festivals and markets for promoting films as well, that you mentioned it's important to have a sales agent, or that the producers is able to share the film with the world. I would like to ask maybe also from the festivals in the room, what are kind of some evolutions you have been seeing in how your festivals can be beneficial for films in terms of promotion with press, with bringing on the talents, with building partnerships with other organizations, and how basically a film can get the best visibility by being selected at the festival?
So looking at the contents and also looking at our audiences. So our festival, we are looking at films that would bring in crossover audience. So what's happened till now that Asian films have mainly Asian audience. And our work, actually working with BFI, BAFTA, and other institutions within UK, is to develop crossover audience for Asian contents. Because all the Bollywood films are aimed at Asian audience. Most of the festivals that bring Asian contents tend to be for Asian audience. Our aim is to, one, have films and contents and really curate a festival which has wider crossover audience for our festival, and that has been growing. The other strategy that we want to emphasize is that we work with the institutions not just for the festival, but year-round program to develop audience base within the Asian community, as well for Asian communities to come and experience films at British Film Institute, for example, and British Film Institute members to come and see Asian content. So for us, that is the aim, and bring good content. And, but since COVID, it has been an uphill journey to start from the scratch, building up in-person screening audience. So, but that's how we aim to curate films.
Yeah, that's the really important point of creating also the audience of tomorrow and creating this film culture and having people brought together in a cinema. Those are all really important points, and also the mission of festivals. Maybe Rita, did you want to elaborate a little bit on the promotion aspect as well? Maybe.
Maybe I can add some other components to it. Since our market is mainly South Asian diaspora, the films that we select, it has to appeal to the South Asian diaspora and wider audience group. The way we do the marketing of our festival, right? Is that the question of the
regarding
content?
Promotion and marketing, yes.
Yeah. We hire a marketing firm from LA, and they're not South Asian, and we make them look at our content and say, these are the films, and how do you want to, we create a strategy for each and every film, not just the main bigger banner film. Even if it's a 4-minute short film or a feature length. And they look at it, and we have a happy hour with all the selected filmmakers. We spend a couple of hours. We give them all the rundown of what's going to happen. And we give the opportunity for each and every filmmaker to create a reel for the festival. And we take those reels and we blast it for months, a month before when the program is released. And we start promoting each and every filmmaker. Everyone gets a chance. So that's one way so that wider audience member come to it and every film is promoted. And we make sure that it appeals to the mainstream media. We don't keep it indie, even though these are independent filmmakers. We work for independent filmmakers mainly. So we want to push them to the world stage, to the main stage. And by when I thought 3 years ago, which took us 3 years to get the qualification for the Oscars, we said, what are the ways we can push our independent South Asian filmmakers' film to the world stage? So that was one of the ideas, like, let's get the Oscar qualification. Let's hire a marketing firm from LA, where the Hollywood is. And then I also went out and created a lot of different initiatives, but the main one I would mention, our films are, after those are shown on at our festival, those are on one of the main airlines, Alaska Airlines. Those are the ones, because Alaska Airlines is headquartered in Seattle, so it was easier for me to go knock on their doors and say, hey, take our films. So every year they take films from our festival, the best of the best, and it goes everywhere, Alaska Airlines. So people watch it, and then they are social media distributing it, right? Hey, I saw the film. Your film was on Alaska. So a lot of different ways we keep thinking, how can we, doesn't stop at, okay, you submitted and we take the film and screen it and goodbye, right? It has to keep going till you help the filmmaker that maybe they can get a distribution deal, and the most people that they can show it to, the better it is, so that their career can keep going on. So those are the places we work from. Like, how could we make the life of the film goes longer? I hope I'm on the right track in answering the question.
I think that's really insightful. And from maybe market and producer standpoint, do you have any insights on this topic of marketing? I'm thinking specifically also about how the film are getting promotion through the press. Maybe there are alternative ways where now the film are getting promoted through social media, or new ways for promotions, because, and you can of course elaborate on that. We have noticed also that the number of film critics, even at the biggest festivals, is kind of decreasing because also of economic constraints on the press. So I'm curious also to hear from you regarding any strategies you are putting maybe at the market. And from a producer standpoint, we know that the marketing budgets are also quite decreasing for everyone. So just curious to hear also from Bobby or from Dennis if you have any points on this topic.
So, I think the one point that precedes this point is that with the availability of that's my next meeting calling me. With the availability of all these high quality films on the streaming platforms, the role of a festival, which used to earlier be making sure that people could see diverse cinema, is now got merged very strongly with the role of not just showing diverse cinema, but also being able to generate some commerce in it. So while some of the smaller festivals are still focused on showing cinema, all the large festivals are pairing themselves with a market and distribution. And I think that is almost becoming a critical ingredient of the big festivals. And that's the only way that you're getting all the big players to attend your festival and market. So if we accept that fact, and I'm sure there are some festivals that are purely curatorial and only for sharing of quality work, but the ones that are with the big markets, for them, marketing and promotion and the talking of the films that are in is actually the biggest thing there is. So if you walk into Berlin, or if you walk into Cannes, or if you walk into Toronto, I mean, the whole cities, Venice, the whole cities are loaded with the promotion of all the films that are screening. And if they are not, then those films get somewhere lost in the process. So I think marketing has become a very crucial aspect of festivals, because markets have become a very crucial aspect of it. I mean, we are sitting in the bazaar here. We are not sitting in the festival with IFFI. I mean, and the bazaar is probably buzzing as much or more than the main film festival. And that, I think, should, in a sense, answer your question in a larger sense, that marketing and promotion is critical. And if we don't succeed in this, it just becomes another event. And after some time, people stop attending it. Because to watch quality cinema today, I don't need to take away 1 week of my life and queue up to watch it. There are so many ways of doing it now.
Of course. Maybe Dennis, as the market
No, I totally
executive?
agree that marketing, once a film is selected at one of the A festivals like Berlin, like Cannes, is really key. And also, if you present a film at the market, you need to do marketing for the screening. Yeah, so I think the best advice is also to become creative if you want to do or if you need to do marketing. So just to give one example of a producer who also handles the sales for his film in Cannes, he just promoted his film via having helium balloons on every traffic light on the Croisette. So that was creative, it was really visible. He did it himself without a big budget, but with a huge effect, yeah? So I think it's also about becoming creative when it comes to marketing and not only to do the standard work. You were also mentioning that the reviews are less nowadays than in the past, that there are also less film critics around, that there's a lot of pressure also when it comes to budgets from the trades, and that's true. So that's also what we are working on as a market, to always speak to the trades and to stress that it's important to get the reviews also for the promotion of films after the premiere, to use the quotes for posters, for example, or for the general promotion of the film, of releases and so on. Yeah.
And also it's a two-way street, because the same posters which you're putting up in a festival finally start showing up with more and more laurel wreaths on them, you know. So I've been to 5 festivals. The festival itself becomes an overall marketing tool for the film. You know, I've just been to 10 festivals. I've been to 5. I was in Rotterdam. I was here, and all of that is on your website or your poster, and that becomes a marketing tool in its own right for the film.
Yeah, and at the same time, festivals become also a distribution circuit. Yeah, so there are so many films traveling from festival to festival, also getting fees to be screened at festivals, and for some films, that's really the distribution channel they are choosing.
Because it's the case for many films that don't get classical, let's say, distribution, and that actually gets access to the audiences locally thanks to film festivals, and no longer thanks to classical distribution, because the market is also really, really crowded, and it can get hard to get the distribution. So I think that's a really important point. And this is also kind of a good point to the idea that the festivals are playing such an important role these days. With Bobby's points to say that we need maybe some sense of clarity about the ecosystem of festivals, and for festivals to have a clear angle in their curation, that the festivals are also creating opportunities for films. I think we have only 2 minutes left before we have to wrap it up. So maybe we can, if it's possible, take maybe one question from the audience, because I would like also to hear from you if you have any comments, and then we unfortunately have to wrap it up because it's a busy time. Yes. Is there a mic? Yeah, perfect.
Hi, I'm Pooja. I've been running a production house for 11 years now, and there's a very beautiful short film, which is a real life story. It's motivational, spreads the light of literacy, and helps people get over disabilities, illnesses, by the power of the subconscious mind, and reinforces the fact that you can make a comeback however late in your life. So this is a film I wanted to come to Cannes with in 2024. And I'm just looking for a little bit of guidance. You know, I haven't shot it yet, but I have my pitch deck with me. So I just wanted you guys to guide me which would be the best festival for a motivational short film like this. And how should I go about the process? Because I'm really confused and baffled.
I think you'll have to make the film first.
Right.
I mean, that's the first step. Before you make it, and then you submit it to the festivals. I mean, they decide. You can't decide.
But to get a sales agent, or like, how should I go about it?
How
like
to get a
sales agent?
No,
I'll
no,
get
no.
the film ready. That's not an issue.
The
I'll
festival,
shoot it.
see, there is, and this is just for small common knowledge really, there's a place called Film Freeway, which has become the go-to place for almost all major festivals, to submit your product, and all the information is there. So, I mean, there's no guidance we can give on that.
Yeah, we can give you some guidance, but we are not festival strategists. We are individual festivals, and we can look at your film and say whether it's a good fit or not. Just by listening to you, we could tell it's a social justice-driven film, which could be a good fit for Tasveer. So sure, I would be happy to guide you. But,
thank you, ma'am.
But going to a producer's workshop or a meeting with a strategist or a sales agent would be a good idea. Yeah.
And there are also agencies out there for short films. They can provide you advice for festival strategies for
Where
short films.
can one get hold of these agencies? Like on Google?
Yeah. There are several ones.
I'm sorry, I'm really lost. So thank you.
Thank you so much. I think we unfortunately have no time for more questions because we have to wrap it up. Maybe, sir, you wanted to ask one quick question? I will maybe free just Bobby because Bobby, Bedi, I think you had to run because you have another panel. So maybe I will take, if you have 2 minutes, we can take this question and then we can wrap it up. Yes.
I had a question here.
Sorry, can we wait for a mic because we don't hear you?
Can I speak? I had a question.
There is this sir before you, I'm sorry. And then we will wrap up after this question.
Sir, good evening. Good evening, sir.
I have a question.
Sir, I am Rashid Basha from Andhra Pradesh, filmmaker and director. I have a question. So my movie is censored in 2016. Is still eligible for submission? So this is the question, ma'am. Because this is the 2023. So that time I am not concentrated on promotion of my movie. It's a children's movie. So is there any eligibility for, possible eligibility for submitting my movie again in the future film festivals?
Thank you, Bobby. Thank you. Thank you very much. Let's give a warm round of applause to Bobby, please. I'm sorry, I didn't quite get your questions, but I think we need to...
I have one last question.
Maybe we can exchange with the Mr. after. We can have a little discussion. Yes, please.
Yeah, hi.
Sir, one last question over there, and then we're going to wrap.
Yeah,
Go ahead.
Thank you. Hi, I am Aditya. I am a festival director from Karnataka. And from our organization, we do 4 film festivals a year, each based on different themes. Like it might be water, it might be wildlife, short films, and indie films. In the panel discussion, Mr. Bedi told that Film Freeway is the international platform for submission of films. I do agree, but there are other platforms as well through which we can submit the movies. And earlier you were also telling that to contact the sales agent to curate more movies for film festival. So which is the best way to approach? Can I know? Because we are also running through the 6th year and we are getting good number of films, but again, for a promotion of marketing and the growth of the film festival, it is very important.
Of course, I think it's a mix of connecting with the right people, like the sales agents and distributors locally, and then a mix also of getting in contact with festivals and being able to pitch your films to programmers as well, depending on, of course, what the films are about. I don't know if there are any additional points from the panelists.
Also to make use of the co-production markets,
Right.
to have also a kind of promotion before the film is finished. Because at the co-production markets, there are a lot of festival programmers as well attending, and it's really a good opportunity. Also at work-in-progress presentations. That's really a good opportunity to show your film already to a group of programmers, and it's already a selection.
At a very early stage. I think that's a really good point. I think we have to wrap it up. So thank you so much for coming. Thank you to our great panelists as well for taking the time.
Thank you.
And have a great rest of your markets.
Thank you so much. Thank you. Let's give them a huge round of applause. And our OTT roundtable starts in 5 minutes. And that's our last session for Film Bazaar 2023. So I would highly recommend that you attend that. Some of the biggest names in the industry are on that panel. So we hope to see you back in exactly 5 minutes. It's going to be a full house, so keep your seats.